It was a heat wave today. Man, we were missing from the screen. It was a heat wave today in Detroit. It was 35 degrees, and welcome to Motown, to Mainstreet, episode number 2. Yesterday, we had an audio issue. So I said, hey, we're going to redo it. We're going to do it good. Because I'm looking. The background music is off. Last night's YouTube live was really bad. It was a technical difficulties. Yeah. So So today's video will not have the same technical difficulties. So let's start out with some admin stuff. So I'm Sean. I am part of the Detroit Diz, and this is a brand new weekly podcast or weekly show, sort of, called Motown to Mainstream. And sometimes I have this Goliath puppy dog walking around. His name is Brock. It's named after B.A. Brockus of the A-Team. And so the Detroit Diz, we talk about Detroit in Detroit, go Lions. And we talk about Disney and everything in between. And we let's hear what else do we talk about. Yeah, that's what we cover. And also, if you'd like to subscribe, it's completely free. Your choice. It's completely free to subscribe. I highly advise that you should, subscribe to the channel. You get to join the Detroit Diz family for 100% free. FR and 2 E's. It's completely free. And then once you mash that subscribe button, scroll on over, move your mouse over to the notification bell. That way you don't miss out when we go live or when we upload a brand new video, so you can see it and you know that it's there. Yeah. Anyways, so if you have not watched the first episode, you can also do that too. It's right in our playlist, and you can watch the Motown to Mainstream episode number 1 a week ago. You can watch that, and and then you can get all caught up, because I'm going to be referring to yesterday's show in this show, and so you should go back and watch that too. You can always just listen to the audio when it's not being blocked by the background music like last night. But anyways, you can listen to the video. Just hide it and go watch something else. Go do your dishes or your whatever. And or you could watch live, because you could watch and watch my face. I make many faces. No, I'm just joking. Okay. So today we're going to be talking about I have a couple of stories. Like I did, it's the same stories that I had yesterday. We're just going to read them over again. It practice makes a perfect. Let's see here. So we'll just go in order that we have. And then in the middle of this, we're going to go on a big long rant about something that is just one of those things at Disney that really gets me. I know there's something at Disney that really irks you, just gets you where gets you going. And so I'm not angry about that subject, but I'm just saying it's an interesting thing that you do at Disney that I think that is really not good for everybody. Okay. So I read a lot of articles. First of all, I'm going to say this here. I get a lot of articles that I read on the internet delivered by Google Alerts. I set up a Google Alert. You could do the same thing. You can get your news through Google Alerts delivered to you once a day, or maybe every time, as soon as it comes out, blammo, you got it into your mailbox. That is completely free also. And I also, I have a whole Twitter or X, an X list that's set up that you can follow I believe you can follow it. That you can follow on the socials on X. If you follow me on X, you can most definitely get the latest and greatest from the news list that I have built. Yes, you can. And that news list, I'm looking to see if it is a public list or not. My list, I only have 3 of them. I'm looking now. Nope, it is private, I think. So let go back on here. Lists. Um, hmm. We're going to change that right quick. And now it's open. So you can follow the list, the Disney News Sources list on the Detroit Diz on X. You follow us and you can follow the list. Yeah. It's all free. Okay, anyways. Let's get back here. So our first article of the day is the hotel perk fans fear Disney will kill next. Unalive next. I don't know. I couldn't resist. Okay, which ones are on the chopping block that people think are going to be on the chopping block next? Disney, when 5 years ago, they got rid of a lot of things, and some of those things have never come back. Some of these perks, I don't know. I wouldn't call them a perk. A perk is something that you pay for and you get for free. As something that you paid for, and that's how I see a perk. But these are things that Disney was doing that they did not. They're now no longer do that. There's a lot of things that they were doing that they're not doing anymore that are we should call them embellishments to your experiences. There you go. Instead of perks. Anyways, they could be perks because some of them were tied into hotel stays but some of them were not. They were just embellishments to the park. Little extras here and there. I like extras. Anyways. So what is left to get rid of? That's a great question. There's a lot that they could get rid of that they haven't got rid of yet. One, this was like this is from several of these stories are from a website called allairs.net. There's a handful of these Disney websites. Some are better than others. Allairs.net. They are very busy all throughout the day creating Disney news content on allairs.net. You can go over there and check it out. But they are part of my Twitter, my X list. My X list. I have to make sure I say that from now on. That is on there. And when you follow us, you can get on you can follow the list, and then you'll be displaying all the Disney news stories for free. But yeah, so the list here, it's only a few of them, is early entry into the parks. Somebody is even saying in this article that they believe that the early entry will go to Disney DVC members only. Now, right now, early entry is based usually if you are at a resort of some type, usually almost any of them, and you get to go to the park 30 minutes early, and be one of the very first people. No running, please. I'm sure that somebody's got, I got my eye on you. But yeah, 30 minutes early, that's enough time to get on the most important ride that you think has the highest priority. And I think that you should do that. I just think that you should take advantage of these early times. I know a lot of people have a hard time doing it though in the morning because they've stayed up late or they have a huge family and they to get everybody ready and get going. But you got to work as a team and get there. So the early entry, would it become DVC only? I don't know. I mean, DVC has they have perks, but not that many that nobody else has, other than the DVC lounge. We still get free parking at the parks, like the other people that are staying at a resort. They still get free parking at a resort, and yeah, um, we do get moonlight magic hours. That's for DVCs only, I believe. And there is, yeah. So, but would they make that DVC only? I think that's very selective. I don't think they would do that. I don't think that they would do that at all. That would make a lot of people angry about the early hours. I think that should be available to all guests. It works out fine the way it is. Don't break it, please. Could they start charging for bus transportation? Well, we already pay a little extra, right, for the mini van, the minivan with it's red and has mini on it. That minivan, even though it's not a van, it's like a Buick Enclave or something. But or maybe they're with GM now. Who knows what it is? But yeah, the transportation, the bus, the monorail, would they start charging for all of that? Maybe they're going to charge you, $1 for the tram that takes you from the parking lot up to the beginning of the park. Well, you have to buy $1. $1. I don't think that they're getting that desperate at Walt Disney World just yet. They're going to charging you for the bus. I think Disney, maybe they'll go to electric buses. That is a very highly new thing. Even school districts have all these electric buses. Some places they have electric buses and whatnot. So electric buses are a thing. Disney could electrify their entire fleet. And I think that would be kind of interesting that they could do that. Also, people are worried about the after hours. Would they get rid of after hours? There's a big debate. People are like upset about, and I read an article today. People are upset about the after hours events that are costing so much. A family of 4, and they're saying, why don't you just extend the park hours like you used to? The Magic Kingdom was open till midnight. There was other parks, Hollywood Studios doesn't have any animals there that they have to worry about, that they can make it. They could elongate the time that, the hours in the night. Same thing with Epcot. But instead, Disney, they're saying that it's been such a money grab because Disney has been saying, oh, yeah, we close at 9, but we'll be open later. And you just pay $150 a person. We'll call that extra hours at night. Or they'll have some type of event, like Moonlight Magic or even events that they'll just come up with that aren't attached to any type of festival, So, in the past, they've gotten rid of the, things like the hotel, package delivery. Where you would drop off your package at, you would tell them you buy something at the parks, they would deliver it to your room or at the front desk at the resort. But now the resorts, what they like to do, this no person or they barely have anybody there. You do your own self check-in. That's one thing. I don't think that they would do anything foolish like cut down on, you know, resort this cut down on the cleaning your rooms or something like that. That would be kind of awful. They already, they don't offer that service, by the way, at at the DVC resorts. They don't offer cleaning your room every single day. They go, you have a vacuum, you do it yourself. I'm just saying. And they also, depending on what kind of room you're in, you also have places to do clothes, and you can cook too. I guess they figure you are an adult. But yeah, so that cuts down on that. So people are worried and concerned that a lot of things might be cut out. I don't know. Maybe we'll get lucky and they'll bring back the magical or tragical express, depending on which way you're going. It, home or there. But yeah, who knows? They did bring back the minivans, and I think that was great. That was a great thing to do, and now people can use those to get around the park when they don't want to. I'm a firm believer, and I know that a lot of people do fly and go to Walt Disney World, but I travel a long distance from Michigan to get down to Disney, and I do like driving. I like driving myself. Anyhow, what do you guys think? Let me ask this question. First of all, we got this brand new hat. We just built it, and but what do you think about Detroit Diz hats? Yeah, just let me know. I like wearing a lot of hats. If you have a hat that you think I should wear, you can send me a message on Instagram where I will respond and give you my address if you want to send me a hat to wear. Something your favorite sports team, something cool. Anyways, yeah. Let's see here. 11 changes that are happening in January. I just had a list of things that are changing in February. Talk about that next week, because next week is like going to be like almost the end of January already. Where did January go? But some things, if you haven't been down to Walt Disney World, some things that or maybe you are down there, but you haven't been to the parks lately. Right now, the International Festival of the Arts has just started today. There are YouTube videos from certain people that are even right now. Resort TV One is going on there. A lot of artists and a lot of food at the. It's a very probably one of the very shortest festivals of the entire year is the Festival of the Arts, by the way. And so that's a good one. All right. So some things that have closed. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, fastest ride in the West, where you lose your hats. I'm sure I wonder how many hats, by the way, wonder if I do know every day they walk the track, but there's always these things, people lose their hats or sunglasses, stuff. They end up at the Lost Found. I got to tell you a story right quick. The Lost Found is fantastic. One time we lost something. It was like an autograph book, of like of all things that we lost, and it was found by the bus driver who turned it into the Lost Found. They called us and told us it was there. I got to tell you, we my daughter was ecstatic when we found it again. So make sure if you lose something, make sure that there's like millions of people that go to the parks every week. So make sure that you go to the Lost and Found and look for it before you leave, because you never know. Some good Samaritan probably turned it in, possibly. So Big Thunder Mountain Railroad closed. They're going to be working on the track and who knows what else. Yeah, fix whatever else is loose, right? Cali River Rapids, that's closed. Two of the rides that I really like, even this one here, Grand Fiesta, closed. They're all down for refurbishment. A lot of refurbing. I think I read that somewhere today that There's going to be 30% of the rides in Walt Disney World are going to be closed. And that's a lot. 1/3. Now, that's the rides, 1/3 of the rides. There's other things going on. Food, fireworks, shows, you know, um, character greets. Just gawking at the Cinderella's castle is a pastime. So, watching the Dapper Dans, the Dans, um, all sorts of things to do. So, and they have concerts, in Disney all the time. So there's things that you can do without going on any rides. Actually, you could probably spend a week there just doing something without a ride. Very possible. Grand Fiesta Tour, that's closed. They're going to the three Calabros are going to be. I wrote that down because sometimes I have a hard time with that. That's one of those words. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. Here's something I want to ask you, and you can comment now, later, whenever. What is the catchiest tune that you hear in throughout the Disney parks? Is it still number one? It's a Small World, or the Three Calaveras, Three Calaveras, bum 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 bum. That one, that's very catchy. There's other ones that are very catchy. I'm just saying, or maybe it's the Country Bears. Maybe it's one of those. I don't know, but something you might find that's very catchy. That is, when you leave the parks, it's still in your head, and you're wanting to sing it aloud. For everybody. Maybe it's the Frozen song. I don't know. You tell me what your number one song is that keeps fresh in your brain even after you leave the parks. Paging Mr. Tom Morrow. No. Okay, so those are some things that are closed up. It says here that after hours events return at the Hollywood Studios. That's really great. It's also after Magic Kingdom has after hours events that are returning in on January the 6th. Events will happen on select nights through May the 19th, 2025. Dino Land is closed, even though that I believe that Dinosaur the ride is still open till the end of the year. From what I understand, that you can still go on that. You can't go on the rest of Dino Land. I think that Dinosaur is still open, but here's what I'm going to say. I don't think it ever lived up to be competitive with Universal's dinosaur ride, Jurassic Park. Just saying. It's not the same. I don't know. It's I mean, here's one day I'll talk about this, but I don't know, but there's a lot of rides in Disney that's a little scary for youngsters, but I mean, the Little Mermaid ride is you know Finding Nemo ride is not the same as the dinosaur ride. That's what I'm saying. The dinosaurs ride is scary, but it's not like the alien ride scary, it's not that scary. Astro Orbiter closes. That's in Futureland on top, and I've been on top. I have not rode it, but I have been up there. It was not fun. I don't like heights, but I wouldn't go. It's like the tallest ride in Futureland. It's just like riding Dumbo or the magical carpets. You go around in a circle, you get control. You go up or down. It's really great for the kids. Not so great for big guys. Maybe they'll change that. Well, it's gone. I don't know. Yeah, so that's what's going on thus far. So we're halfway through. Let's talk about the rant. I said I was going to go on this rant, and I'm going to go on it here right now. Let's go on the rant. Let's go. All right. So I'm going to present this. Okay. These are Crocs. Disney must have a deal with Crocs because Disney creates lots of Crocs, and they sell a lot of Crocs. Star Wars Crocs, Muppet Crocs. I don't know. Maybe and now that they have things that you put in the holes of the Crocs, which really defeats the purpose of the holes, which everybody proclaims that their feet are so much cooler because the Crocs have holes until you put the accessories into the holes, the accessory art or whatever you want to call it, pieces that you can put on there. But people think that they're very comfortable. I would not say this is probably the worst footwear for walking in the parks, that you should never wear this in the parks for the entire day. I think you would be regretting it. That's just my opinion. Point blank. I don't know that they are endorsed by a podiatrist or any group of podiatrists. They would probably tell you do not wear these. And I would say also, I don't know why Disney is pushing them. Maybe, I don't know. They're good. They're good for maybe Blizzard Beach or Typh, you know, Typhoon Lagoon, or around your resort hotel, or by your resort pool or something like that. Yeah, sure. I could see you wearing a pair of Crocs. I would not wear a pair of Crocs in any ride. I wouldn't wear, where you probably lose it. What if somebody's in, you know, um, Space Mountain, and they're in the Crocs, and somehow their foot slips out and the one Croc falls and it hits somebody else in the head. Next thing you know, we're going to have a Croc ban. Hey, there's going to be no, let's go on the list. You can't bring your phone. You don't bring your phone out, and please don't wear your Crocs on the ride. That'll be next. They'll be next. There'll be the Croc ban because somebody lost a Croc while riding a ride. I could see it now. I'm just saying. You're in you're on Everest, and all of a sudden you lose your shoe, your Croc. I don't know. That's a possibility. And I mean, I don't think that it would be, if I were to get hit by something that fell above me, I would say that I would rather want a Croc than a phone. I'm just saying that for what it's worth. But let me continue on here. So I think that you should not get the Crocs. That's my advice. Pass on the Crocs. Get something else at the Disney store in the resorts. Buy something else, some other souvenir that you want to keep, but do not buy the Crocs. Your feet will thank me and you and everybody else, for not doing that. Anyways, that's enough of today's rant about what I really am against at Disney. So yeah. So, anyways, enough of that. There are some Disney hotel refurbishments. I'm going to go on a list. Let's just talk about this for a minute. Refurbishments happen all the time. They've been refurbishing a lot of resorts. Old Key West got a refurbishment a long time, 5 years or less. They've refurbished a lot of the value resorts, such as the the All-Star Music and Art of Animation and all those. They've been refurbishing them. Not just the resort rooms, but the they've gone into the dining facility portion and whatnot. And yeah. So, anyways, they have been doing a lot of refurbishments, and so now they're working on Bay Lake Tower at the Contemporary Resort. By the way, it's only for DVC members. DVC members pay a lot of money, a lot of dues, and those dues go into refurbishments at their resorts. So Bay Lake Towers, Disney's Polynesian Resort. They just finished the tower, so now it's time to redo and refurbish the Village Resort. the Disney's Yacht and Beach Club, one of the older ones. One of the very first ones that they ever built. And that's yeah. And then the All-Star movies and the Pop Century they're going to be working on too. So each one, there's going to be you might find a discount there, and also you might be able to. I think you might be able to. You know, you're gonna be able. You might be able to get a discount. You might be able to. Get your room moved. Who knows what? But there's going to be a take around, and you're going to have to take detours to walk around your resort. That's just how it is during construction time. Remember, they worked on the Grand Floridian for a while. Yeah, that was a thing. So yeah, and so yeah. So here was an article that do you think it's going to be worth it to go to Walt Disney World in 2025? And in episode 1 of the Motown to the Mainstreet, I talked about that. Yeah, I did. I talked about that for some period of time out of my hour show, and I talked about all the reasons why you should go, and you should definitely just go, because you know why? Because there are deals out there that are being, for the resort stays, 30-40%, depending on what your situation is. And they're offering free additional passes to Typhoon Lagoon and the water parks, which is something that you'd have to pay extra for. And they're offering the food plan, the Disney dining plan. Even though that you pay for all the food through the Disney dining plan, it's still like an add-on, which helps you manage and make sure that you are able to, you don't have to worry about paying, because you've prepaid basically. And on top of that, you get snacks and stuff like that, and these additional add-ons. So I think that the Disney dining plans are good. I'm not talking about them in depth today, but I think that, you should still go. And even though the 30% supposedly of the park is going to be under construction, or is going to be, refurbishment, it's still, there's a lot to do. And that's just my opinion. And you might get a good deal. And the parks may not be that full because of all the people who said, "Oh, I'm just not going to go this year." So that's something that I'm telling you right now, that I think that this year it might be the time, if you haven't gone in a while, to go. Yeah, you should go. So let's see here. The Lions, a little bit about Detroit. The Detroit Lions are playing tomorrow in Detroit. They said Detroit is actually going to be getting hold on a minute, $65 million out of the playoffs. We have the playoffs this week, and if the Detroit Lions win, we have the playoffs next week. That means it's possible that we make a total of 130,000, 165 million, 65, yeah, $130 million that going to the city of Detroit. On top of that, we did host. We're not, the Super Bowl is being in New Orleans, Louisiana, New Orleans. Sorry about that. Had to fix that for a minute. And the thing is that Detroit has already held the Super Bowl before, and I was working in Detroit while it was going on. It was a great time. NFL was really great to Detroit, but it's really great that the Detroit Lions are winning again. And that we have a lot of fans. We have so many fans now. I everywhere I look, there's somebody with a Lions jerseys on. It's you're like, yeah, are you from Detroit? No, I just like the Lions. Yeah, that's my kind of person. So it's kind of our time to shine, and I hope that the city does well with this. That no events occur. That and if we do win the Super Bowl and there's a big giant parade, I think that's going to be a great thing for Detroit. I think people are looking at Detroit to be, it's been building and building and building and building. The city is building up and cleaning itself up, and we have the PGA golf tournament now. That's every year in the summer. The Detroit Auto Show just is going on right now. The return of the auto show. That's a great place to go. We have the Grand Prix. They moved it from the little small island of Belle Isle. You know, we're basically. I don't think that was ever a great place to have the Grand Prix. I think the Grand Prix in Detroit should have been where it was before. Anyways, it should have never left the the mean streets of Detroit. And so I think that Detroit has a lot of stuff going on, and don't we're no longer known for the murder capital of the world. That's what people they were like, Detroit, that's hard. That's a hard place to live. But now I think that it's not like that anymore. Our new reputation is that we're a great place to visit, and I think that that's panning out to be great. I mean, we had the NFL draft here, and it was huge. It was so huge. I think Donald Trump was sad about our crowd size for the NFL draft. I'm just saying. So, anyways, yeah. So, also another thing that's happening, 5 days from now, Donald Trump is going to be the president, and that means that there's going to be a switcheroo. They're going to be bringing Donald Trump from the Hall of Presidencies in the back, and they're going to bring him from the back to the front. Joe Biden is going to go in the back, maybe next to Barack Obama. Who knows? And I don't know if Donald Trump is going to be recording a new line, a new speech for the, or whether they're going to give him a brand new haircut. Because I know Donald Trump recently just got a brand new haircut. That was big news. This is probably the first time he's ever got his hair cut, changed, the look of it changed, but he looks like he's got it spiked up for a minute. Nothing like it looks like in his presidential photo that he just took. But with that said, what change they could make some changes definitely to his animatronic Donald Trump, and that could be something very interesting. We'll have to wait and see what happens. And all I know is that I'm sure the line, the line for the show is always going to be huge. I'm just saying that. Anyways, so that's the Hall of Presidents. It will be down for some period of time. Who knows how long, and then it will be back. What else is happening in the parks that I'm aware of? Oh yeah, they started. I don't know what the status is of the draining. And one thing I thought about is what are they going to do with the Liberty Bell riverboat that's in the rivers of America in the over there by Tom Sawyer's Island. And I thought about this, that they should take it out and put it and use it as part of Disney's transportation lineup. And they could take people back and forth to the ticket and transportation center. I don't, you have to make sure that it's good, that it's, that the engine's good, that everything's great on it. I'm sure they'll do that. That would be a really nice addition, to keep that ride, that boat that is very notorious there, keep it going. I think that's something that Disney should do. We'll have to be waiting for the return. Hopefully they'll be pretty soon. The return of the test track, and they're rechanging that. That's going to be put on by General Motors. And I'm sure that it will look great. I cannot wait to see the new ride cars that are going to be on it. What kind of music they'll have, what kind of intuitive, interactive stuff they'll have on the ride. I think it's going to be really great for the test track when it comes back out. Maybe it'll be going in a Camaro or a Chevy something or other that's really futuristic looking. I think that's going to be, something else, like maybe a Corvette. Who knows? Maybe you get maybe they'll have different vehicles that you'll be able to ride. Not every ride will look the same, or go the same speed. Who knows? So, let's see here. Then the other thing that they're working on is the rock and roller coaster. They say the Muppets are coming there. We'll have to wait and see. I think that would be a great idea. They've already announced that the Muppets are gonna be at the Rock and Roller Coaster. I can't wait. I have never been on the ride. I don't know if I'm gonna go on the ride still, but I mean, I could really see, they got the doctor that's always everything's going, talking about maybe they could have a skit in the beginning where the doctor and Beaker and all them are talking about how they're souping up the engine, and Kermit the Frog goes, "Yeah, what are you thinking about this? It goes so fast." But Miss Piggy is like, "Yeah, I really like it. It's so great." Uh, and then all of a sudden Beaker spills something, and then there's this massive explosion, and then he says, "Well, I think your ride cars should be just fine. I don't think they'll have anything." And then all of a sudden, boom, and then your ride goes off. I don't know. That's just a mock-up idea. Disney shouldn't take it or anywhere like that. Anyways, um, so what else is happening? That's about it. So I'm going to leave it at this. This is the same period of time that I made the live last time, and I really appreciate everybody. Appreciate you all who are watching, all three of you. I don't know whether you're on Twitch or whether you're on YouTube or whatever you're at. I appreciate everybody and all the replay people that are watching, all the replays. And remember to subscribe. That's really important. Mash the subscribe button here on YouTube. That way you follow along next week. I already have it up. You can go ahead and notify yourself for that too. That way that you know when that when we go live next week at 9 o'clock, uh, you know. And yeah, that's about it. So, anyways, you know what time it is. Time is over and out. Over and out.